So came upstairs and they have the workers in here, the nurses or what have you, looking down at my crotch as I am walking in. You know, what happened downstairs, it doesn't matter where I go, they pre-plan this stuff, right? They create these scenarios. So instead of him giving me the list that is in alphabetical order, he gave me an old list, right? That is not an alphabetical order. And I know that's not what he gives to other people, okay? Because when I didn't find the name, then he gives me the list, because I could say, I said, why is this not in alphabetical order? You would think, right, it would be in alphabetical order. But again, it's something that they do. They just printed that, so I have to look. Because it's always about my, sometimes they send me some lessons about my glasses. Now, I have always used my glasses when necessary. But they try to create this suspicion type, like if you use your glasses and this and that. Like I said, I do my videos all the time with my glasses on, glasses off, doesn't really matter. But it's the things that they put inside your mind to cause suspicious, right? So I want you to understand that anybody that they do this to will act in that way. When they tell you that, oh, well, if you haven't done anything, you have nothing to worry about, right? It's all bullshit. It's all bullshit. That is their psychology in their mind, right? Because that's how they think. Because you know what? The people that create these things are white people. And they do these things particularly against black people, right? So when we're walking on the street, we see a police officer. If we cross the street, not because we see the police officer, but because we're crossing the street, these white racists will say, well, you acting suspicious because you was walking towards me, and then all of a sudden you cross the street, right? So that activate in their mind a suspicion because they have that authority and they have a gun and a badge. So they do this to create a manufacture suspicion, manufacture consent, these sort of things, like what they try to do to me in terms of manufacturing consent to say that I agree to be in this program. You know, so whether I'm updating the software, it may ask me to do I agree to the terms and stuff like that. Then they use the car honking or the police sirens, right? So such and such and such. It's always in those moments, right? You gotta understand. So when I come up in here now, again, instead of him logical thing, you know, the logical thing, right, would be to give me the list that's in alphabetical order because it would be easy for me to find. Except he doesn't do that. He gave me a list that's not in alphabetical order, names all over the place, right? So that was when I started to record. As soon as he gave me the list with the names in alphabetical order, that's when I took my phone out to record because I wanted you guys to understand and see what it is that they do. How these things are pre-planned, how these things are manufactured. Okay? And so like I said, so when I come up here now, the nurse is on the floor as I'm walking towards my mom's room. And again, I couldn't even remember the number. The number of the room was, you know, I ended up, I was in the wrong floor, the wrong room, what have you. Because again, you know, is to get you flooded and upset. And when you're a TI, and this happens to you, you in this natural, you develop a natural state of always having a defense mechanism ready. Right, so she's walking right, shaking the keys. Right, okay. I want you to understand how this stuff is pre-planned, right? So anyhow, so as I was saying, so yeah, this is what they do, right? This is what they do. And then when I asked the nurse at the desk, I said, you know, give her the room, what have you. She's like, oh, you have to wait because she's getting her wounds banded and all this stuff, right? And I'm just like, okay, well, whatever. So I'm sitting here, you know, like I said, and they'll walk by and you see she just kept shaking her keys. She had to shake her keys. She started shaking her keys before she even got to the desk. All right? But again, how they mask their targeting. And like I said, I've studied this so much that nothing they do really surprised me because I understand how the way that they mask it, they try to bypass my defense mechanism. All right? So again, just to show you guys how they manipulate and how they do the stuff, how they get people involved. Right? It's just like to waste your time to get you upset because they know how I think in a certain manner because that's the way of thinking that they've created within my mind. I'm trying to change my personality, I'm trying to have you think in a certain way, right? In which you've never thought before. They're the one that's constructed and created a certain way of thinking within your mind as a TI. So you got to understand that. So by studying this program, studying the psychology of it, you're able to create defense mechanism to either lessen the effect, right, and to reverse some of the things that they're trying to do. And again, the use of the police is again to try to create this criminalistic way of thinking or the thinking that you do something wrong, right? Meanwhile, they're committing every crime in the book. They're committing the crimes that they're supposed to uphold. Not the crime, but that's supposed to fight against, right? They have they're supposed to be the enforcers of the law, but they are constantly breaking the law, constantly engaging in negative conduct, right? But because of the psychopathic and sociopathic mindset, the dark triad mindset created within their mind, they can't see the wrong that they do, right? They only can see the fact that they have authority, and that gives them power over people to control people's lives, to destroy people's life in that sense. So this is what I'm talking about. You got to understand how the way they think, their behavior. All right, talk to you guys next week.